Hey everyone, this is the podcast that I did with Saberduelgaming. He was an awesome host, and it's basically the last part where he talks to me about my channel and asks some questions pertaining to my brother. So kindly do take the time to watch. At the same time, he included some great slideshows, some pictures, and he really, took the time to send this to me. You will notice that in some parts it doesn't necessarily flow all together, so I just wanted to say that in advance. And also a big thank you in advance for those who do end up watching. That being said, I hope you enjoy and remain retro.
Raza is retro. What's the meaning behind the name of that?
So basically, so I have two first names, and my brother does as well, and also my sister. Raza is actually my father's name. So it's basically just saying that the Raza family, if you will,
Okay,
we are a retro family.
okay. Right, that makes sense actually. And what is it? I mean, I'm saying this. I am obviously a retro gaming channel myself, or at least
Yeah.
the games I review are. So I'm asking this almost sort of, see, what is it about retro gaming that feels like this is what you want to focus on for your channel?
I mean, I've always liked gaming in general, and I also do enjoy modern gaming, but retro gaming, it just what it is for me. And I like my content is also like with retro movies and TV shows, but that whole, I guess, retro culture, uh, it just brings me back to a simpler time. As we grow up, as we get older, life itself is a very beautiful thing, and growing up is a beautiful thing as well. But I find the best moments of my life were when I was younger, when I was a little naive, if you will. So, those times where, you come from school and the only thing you're worried about is, finishing a video game or trying to beat a friend at a video game or to watch a movie or an old school wrestling tape or whatever the case is. That's what really appeals to me because it brings me back to a simpler time and a time where I had a lot of beautiful memories and a lot of great moments. Like I said, life is beautiful, and I'm very blessed to have a beautiful family. But when I do think about the old times, I definitely wish I can go back just simply because it was simpler. So that's really what appeals to me about the retro culture. Obviously, the games, the movies, the TV shows, they were all great in their own aspect. And what I liked about retro gaming is that it had its own charm. Games looked simple, but they weren't actually simple at all. They were
No.
very quite difficult. But there was just a charm about playing, an 8-bit game or a 16-bit game or, a 32, 64. There was just a charm that it has that modern gaming, I feel, doesn't have. Modern gaming is great. I love it, especially modern sports games. Like, I find they're better than retro games,
Yeah.
but there's just a charm that retro gaming has that modern doesn't.
I think as well, and obviously I already know this a little bit. For those that don't already know, I've actually been speaking to Raza for quite a while now, both on YouTube, Instagram. So we've been talking for quite a while now, and I think I personally, hopefully it's okay to say this, feel quite comfortable to say I think we've actually become quite good friends. I think, and so I already know quite a bit about this, but I think what might be really helpful for people to know to understand just how important your channel is to you, and I think how meaningful your channel is. There's actually some deeper meaning behind why you've made your channel, isn't there? I just wondered if you'd feel able to talk a little bit about what that was.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So basically, my channel is a tribute to a memory of my late brother. I had a brother by the name of Sean who passed away. He passed away. He passed away in his sleep. One morning uh, he was supposed to wake up. He did real estate, and he had an appointment, and he didn't wake up. And when we called the ambulance, they came, they did what they had to. and they said, "We're sorry to tell you, but he passed away. It's been about 2 hours." So losing him and losing him in that manner, because it was obviously a surprise and shock. It's one thing if he was sick, he had cancer or something like that. You can kind of prepare yourself more or less. But the fact that he just left just like that, it was a very, very tough situation for the whole family, especially for my parents, because no parent should ever go through that.
No.
Um, so basically, for a long time, obviously, I wasn't in a good place, I guess, if you will. Um, I did feel that by losing my brother, I became closer to God, but at the same time, it was not something that I can accept. It took a while for me to accept, but when I finally accepted it, I realized, because I have two kids, and my brother, unfortunately, he didn't have any children, but he was very close with my girls. I felt that I should do something that they can remember him by, because when he passed away, they were very young, and I realized that the day and age we live in, everything is digital, everything is done on Instagram, YouTube, you know,
Yeah.
everything is done online, and if we're going to be honest, the way the world is going, I don't think kids will have the attention span to be like, hey, you know what, sit down for 20 or 30 minutes and let's talk about your uncle.
Yeah.
So I basically just share some of the games that he grew up with, some of the movies that he liked, some of the TV shows that he liked, just to just for them to see that hey, our uncle, he liked doing this, or he liked watching that. A lot of these things are still in my house, and I hope that as time progresses, they can keep them, because I will definitely keep them until the day I die. And I'm hoping that they can continue doing that, just to hope that God is happy with him. And I want my kids to do the same thing, essentially, after when I'm gone. At the same time, as much as it's for my brother, it's also for me as well, in the sense that I'm also sharing my memories. I'm sharing things that I liked. So again, it's another way for my kids to look back and remember me when my time comes. And at the same time, it's to me, which I have through YouTube and Instagram, who share the same passion, who like video games, who like movies, who like TV shows, who like old school wrestling. The amount of people that I've met through YouTube and Instagram has been phenomenal, and they're quality people. And for whatever reason, 90% of them are in England. So,
We're
God bless
fantastic
England.
people over here. That's the reason
Yeah,
why we are.
yeah, I'm beginning to think I'm not getting a lot of love from Canada though, but no, honestly, I've always, I mean, I love people regardless, but like I've always had a bit of a special connection with England, just because I'm a big sports fan. And a lot of the sports that I like do come from England, right?
Well,
Soccer,
I will
cricket.
say this right now. If you and your
Yeah,
family ever decide to move over to England or visit England,
yeah.
you will I will more than happily show you the ropes and show you rounds. It would be a pleasure. It would be a pleasure.
No,
Um,
most definitely. I feel like if I ever do move there, like I would fit in quite well. But
I think so.
um, just quickly going back to that point, like it's also because to meet people from all over the world, see different things. And what I've liked about this whole journey is, yes, I'm sharing things about my brother, yes, I'm sharing things about myself, my sister as well, although she's not really into gaming and retro, but she was still a part of that. um, is the people that I've met, and the things I've learned. I've learned so much from different people about different games that I've never heard of, different movies I've never heard of, facts about movies, facts about TV shows. And the fact that I mentioned that, I have a lot of people that I follow from England and other parts of the world, even, like Ireland, Scotland. So I have some people I'm even following in Japan, in Brazil. So I'm learning about different cultures and different ways of life, and I think that's a beautiful thing. At the same time, it's also just to have fun. I'm really enjoying this. I don't take myself too seriously, in the sense that I just try to have fun with it. I post when I feel like it. I post when I want to share something special or something silly. I like to laugh, and that's a good memory of my brother. He was always somebody that enjoyed to laugh. So that's why sometimes you'll see me post these, funny and bizarre shorts, and you might be thinking, hey, what's wrong with this guy? Oh, there's nothing wrong with this guy. He's just trying to be funny. Keyword try. So, it's for him. It's a memory for him. It's for me, and it's for the people that I've met through this great platform. And anybody that comes through my channel, a big, big thank you. I hope, whoever tunes in and watches, you enjoy my channel, because believe me, everyone that I've subscribed to and that I've followed, I really, really enjoy. In particularly Saberduel. He's one of the first that I've met, and it's been a pleasure since day one.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. And I would say as well, a big thank you to you, because not only for coming on this today, but you are one of those people that you always interact with people's live streams. You always come up with new creative ideas. I mean, for anyone who hasn't already seen on YouTube, Raz has organized a load of different gaming challenges and stuff, and keeping like a little league table. It's all really good fun stuff. And I'm not just sort of pimping out his page because we're friends and stuff like that. I would genuinely say, if you like retro gaming, it is worth subscribing. Have a little look at what he does, especially if you have your own channel. If you have your own channel and are looking for other people to interact and engage with, check it out, because he does some really good, engaging stuff. And yeah, it is really good. Just before we wrap up, I'm going to ask one more question, because obviously, a lot of this channel that's really important, that is you mentioned there about your brother Sean, and how much of a motivating factor he was for it. So I want to give him a little bit of presence in this podcast. I want you to see if you can tell me what game, if you can name one or two games that he particularly enjoyed playing, or that you particularly enjoyed playing together, just to give him his little moment in this. What would you say are a game or two that he really loved, or that you really loved playing together?
Well, the reason why I also came onto this podcast is like when you mentioned that we were going to talk about Street Fighter and Super Street Fighter in particular.
Yeah.
That was because of his memory. Because Super Street Fighter was a game that he loved a lot, that he played a lot, and that he enjoyed. Another one that I can throw out there, and it's a game that we played quite often together, was Super Double Dragon. What I really loved about that game is you can just, pop in the second controller and hit start, and we'd always kind of have fun with that. One thing I just wanted to mention real quickly is that Sean and I had a 10-year difference. So that's quite a big difference. So a lot of the things I had as a kid, or even till today actually, were things that he would buy. And funny story is that sometimes, like when he would go to work or school or whatever, he would always want me to not touch his things, in particularly the Nintendo games, just because he would buy. And funny story is that sometimes, like when he would go to work or school or whatever, he would always want me to not touch his things, in particularly the Nintendo games, just because I was young and he felt that I would ruin them. So when he would leave, I would take out a game. Most of the times it was Super Street Fighter. I would pop it in, and then before he would come in, I would wrap everything up and just put it back exactly the way it was, to make sure that he never noticed. But he always noticed. But he never got mad. He just wanted to make sure nothing got ruined. So I just wanted to throw that out there. One other game that I will mention, it's not that retro, but it was very special, was Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. It's a game me and him spent a couple of days playing together. And what was really cool about that particular game was my sister would actually watch us. So she wasn't really a gamer. She would just watch if she found it interesting. So it was a game that, I guess connected all three of us, because we had me and him playing, and we had her watching. And sometimes, like, my dad would be like, "Hey, did you finish your homework?" And he's like, "Yeah, he did." And he would just tell me like, "Okay, come, like, let's go hop on." Because he really enjoyed it, and it was great fun. And the last thing I'll just mention about a game, and I think that's important, is the last game that he played. So for a while he wasn't gaming, and then we had on our Xbox One Saint Rose 3. I believe it was.
Yeah.
It was like a special edition. Um, I was initially playing it, and then he said, "Do you mind if I give it a try?" I said, "No, go for it." And then he just played it, finished it, and completed all the missions. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that that's a game that's always going to be special to me, just due to the fact that it was the last game he played before he passed away.
Well, thanks a lot for sharing that, Raz. I think it just goes to show not just about your channel, but just how games and video games, like anything else in life, they can really connect us to people. And I know there's certain games I've played that connect me to my nephew, to my mum, to all kinds of different people in my life. And who knows, maybe that could be a topic for a future podcast anyway. Um, I'm just going to wrap up there. So, again, I've already said it, but I want to say a big thank you to Raza for joining me for this podcast. It's been really appreciated. It's been really fun to do.
And I will just finish off by saying what I always kind of say in my videos is that life is like a game. You decide how to play it and when you play it. All you got to do is just hit the start button and always remember to remain retro.
All right, well, I can't end it much better than that. So, Raza, thank you very much for being here. Everyone who's listened, thank you for being here. And until next time, take the high ground.